Hey, this is Pastor Curry, pastor of the E. Zion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya and anything you can do about it. Today with Coffee with Curry, we're going to do a little spin on you. We decided to go and get a chiropractor to come in and to talk to us about chiropractic care. I am a true believer. It has straightened me out, literally. So I hope you will be able to call somebody real quickly. Tell them Coffee with Curry is on, and let's get after it.
Good morning, Delaware and surrounding areas. You are now tuned in to this week's Coffee with Curry, with new guests every week. So grab your cup of coffee and join us on Coffee with Curry.
And we're back. Well, it is a joy for those of you who are watching us today for me to personally welcome to the Coffee with Curry, Dr. Shane Palmer. I met him about a year or so ago when I was in excruciating pain, and he straightened me out. He loves to talk, he loves to engage, he loves people. And literally, he caught me off guard a couple times when he was cracking me and getting me together because his conversations are so wonderful. But today, Dr. Palmer, it is a joy to have you on Coffee with Curry. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to just say I really appreciate this opportunity to be here and to engage with your viewers. Yeah. And hopefully we'll be able to touch a few lives and help people that are suffering and in pain.
Yeah. You do a good job at that. I mean, come in hurting, but you leave out feeling really good. You have a great staff as well.
Thank you.
But before we get into the chiropractic care and some of the myths and things that nature that happens, I want to talk a little bit about Dr. Palmer, because I happen to know now. You've shared a lot of your life with me, and I'm intrigued. I'm very happy to be cared for by a person who have a good family, who has some strong things that you bring to the table. So let's talk a little bit about family, wife, children, grandchildren, whatever you wanted to share.
Very good. Well, I'm originally from Springfield, Ohio, okay, but I was more or less raised in North Jersey.
Okay.
I did a little school for chiropractic down Marietta, Georgia.
Okay.
And married young. I was 23, I believe. So
is that young?
Yeah, still together and loving life. Yeah. I think that's 37 years now, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm a father of two. My son is a doctor of physical therapy.
Yes.
He's 31 years old. And my daughter is 34, and she's a mother of two with another on the way.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a very happy grandfather with two beautiful little grandsons. Mm-hmm. And, just kind of enjoying life.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if your daughter's going to be happy you gave her age over there. And your son will be with us next week, so he's probably not going to be happy that you told everybody that he's as young as he is, but he's a brilliant doctor, and I'm very excited about him coming on the show as well. So you had an opportunity to be with your wife for 30 plus years, and you call it young. There are many who marry at 23, but if you felt that was too young, I'll let you have that. But you have some grandbabies now.
Yes.
And you have two.
Yeah, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old.
And their names are?
They keep us very busy.
Yeah.
Dexter and Bo River.
Okay, Bo River. Okay.
Bo River.
Okay.
Yeah, Dexter Miller and Bo River Miller.
Okay, excellent. So you have two boys. Do you want her to have a girl now?
Yeah, we're hoping.
Okay.
But hey, as long as the baby's healthy, I'm happy.
Excellent, excellent. What got you interested in chiropractic care?
I was fortunate enough to be helped when I was young. I was playing a lot of sports in high school, and I hurt myself, and I had to go to a surgeon. Mm-hmm. And the surgeon told me, look, I know you're only a junior, but we're going to have to do this procedure. We're going to have to cut into your bicep and pull this bone that formed from the constant hitting. And, you're not going to be able to play your senior year. You're going to have to give it up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to get a second opinion on this. So I went to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor said, look, let's combine chiropractic and physical therapy and see what we could do. So I went to an extensive program with them, and then in about 3 months, I was getting full range of my arm back. I was able to play my senior year and did real well with it, and just kind of got hooked on it because it's a drugless, hand-on profession.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Now, because I noticed your son's the therapist,
Right.
and you're the chiropractor, and it's interesting that was a part of your story. When you were told that you had to have surgery, because I was told the same thing, you know, about my back when I first was introduced to chiropractic care, and I decided I'm not going to let anybody cut on me.
Right.
But that's one of the myths that are out there is that chiropractic care is not really real. It's a myth.
Right, yeah, and that is changing. I mean, I get a lot of referrals from medical doctors now.
Okay.
Some of the top neurosurgeons in the state refer to me because they realize the skill sets that I have and our philosophy on what we're going to do is straight up with people. So look, if I can help you, I can help you. If I can't, I'm going to try to find somebody else who can.
Okay.
Even if it's another chiropractor that
Right.
has a different technique, or if we have to do surgery. I've referred quite a few people to surgery because we kind of failed in the anatomical ability to bring that tissue that was damaged back into a safe area along the spinal cord. You know, I said, look, your best option, we got to do it because there were certain red flags that weren't improving.
Right.
So when my patients come in, I want to give them all the options. So they can say, look, if you got low back pain, let's see how serious it is. If you can walk on your toes, walk on your heels, there's no bowel trouble, there's no bladder trouble, then we've got a good chance at helping you. And then we'll show them exercises to do at home so they can help themselves. Because ideally, we want to try to rebalance the body and give the body its best potential to work at its fullest potential.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And all healing really is above, down, inside out. And the more you can get your body working properly, the better off you're going to be with, a variety of problems.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the first time I came to see you, I came in and I was referred to by one of your employees who happens to be a member of this church, Denisha, and she said, well, he'll get you straightened out. And that was the first time, that was about 1.5 years ago, and I was having some serious problems with my neck. And you did. They shot me with that needle, and then you did all the stuff you needed to do. But then I came back because I was lifting tables here at the church, and I kind of did something wrong. And while in the middle of you working with me, you said, you need to let my son help you with some of the therapy. I'm just kind of solidifying what you said. You will get the help regardless if you're doing it or not.
Right. Yeah.
And I went into therapy, and now I'm back to 100. So I see that it has come a long way. You all, at one point, chiropractic care stayed in its lane, the medical field stayed in its lane, the therapies field, but now it seems like y'all are coming together.
Exactly. And the sad part about it is they were all fighting for the dollar in the beginning. The medical profession didn't want us having it because we were getting really good results with low back cases, headaches, neck pain, and then the PTs were back and forth, so everybody was kind of wanting their own territory. But since the insurance industry beat up everybody, now everybody's like, well, let's all get together.
Yeah.
If you got certain skill sets that are good, I've got certain skill sets that are good. If my patient needs you, I'm sending them there. It kind of boils down to that, and we're starting to respect each other a little more, and it's what's best for the patient.
Yeah, and the good thing is that it's not like you went somewhere and just got a weekend class. You literally went to school.
Yeah.
And that's something I think you should share with the audience, that is not your fly-by-night. You literally went to school and you got your degree.
Quite a bit of schooling.
Yes.
For anatomy and physiology, we probably double what a medical doctor would do in a professional setting for educational wise. But they are much better at acute traumas and pharmaceutical. Most of the chiropractic schools don't have any pharmaceuticals at all. So it's all natural, hands-on type health, holistic approach. But presently, it's a minimum of 4 years, like undergrad, pre-med type of program.
Yes.
Then you apply to a chiropractic college, and it's another additional 3.5 to 4 years.
Thank you for sharing that, because I think many people, especially in our community, believe that it's just a guy or a young lady, because you have both in there now, who just want to, crack your neck and leave you to be. But all of that came through your learning, you doing some hands-on as well as some theories to be able to understand. Because in your office, for example, you have yourself and another chiropractor, and y'all have different techniques, somewhat similar philosophy, you can tell that, but there's some different techniques that you all have, but a lot of that comes out of how you were learning when you found out what's best for...
Right, and he went and did postgraduate school for as an acupuncturist.
Oh.
Yeah, so he can do acupuncture for people. He actually worked in multiple hospitals for people on pain control, especially if someone's an addict and they don't want to go and give them the Percocets or the Somas and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll call him in and see what he could do, a more holistic approach to keep the chemicals out of their system.
You've used that word twice in this during our time together, holistic approach.
Yes.
For the person who's just listening, what do you mean when you say holistic?
Holistic boils down to basically having your body heal itself.
Right.
And like I said, all healing, regardless if you're in a medical doctor's office, chiropractor, DO, PT, the body is what heals the body. And it usually starts in the brain, comes down through the spinal column, and out.
Yeah.
So our job as chiropractors are trying to keep that communication within the body at its maximum potential, running at 100%.
Yeah.
Because ideal health is your body functioning 100%, 100% of the parts, 100% of the time. And we just try to bring people to their best potential.
Yeah. What is it that makes Dr. Palmer excited? We're still in this first segment, so I want to make sure I get a part of you too.
Sure.
What makes you excited?
I was just trying to think. I said, that's probably a question he's going to ask me. And the thing that gets me the most excited is helping people that other people can't help.
Okay. Very good.
And we had a lady, actually two in the last 2 months that were really fantastic cases. She came in, she was bent over, had just had hip surgery 6 months ago. She's had multiple low back surgeries, and she was miserable. I mean, you could just tell in her face she had that, if this doesn't help, I'm jumping off the bridge look.
Oh, wow.
And I started working on her, and at first she was like, kind of negative, because she tried everything. She tried injections, she tried multiple surgeries, medication, to the point where she was just walking around as a zombie. And she came in, we were able to back off all the medicine. I got her from leaning over like at a 45-degree angle and walking like, a little old lady that was a robot, and to standing up straight. Now she's dancing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Enjoying life. Every time I see her, I get a big hug.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff turns me on. I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I like best of all.
Yeah.
And then we had another case that was really interesting. She came in, she had suffered with sciatic pain for probably a year and a half. And her medical doctor kept telling her, nah, I don't think it's going to help. We tried PT, that didn't help. I wouldn't go to a chiropractor, you're too old, your bones are brittle, it's not safe. So one of my patients was like, that's ridiculous. She goes, I'm your age, I go, you need to get in there and get checked. So she was kind of hem-hawing, came in, and she was really defensive, like, well, I don't think it's going to work. And I was like, look, give me a shot. I said, I'm not going to be twisting and yanking on you, but let me see if I can find something that I can fix. And if I can and it works, great. And it cleared up.
Wow.
So within 2 weeks, she's walking around with nothing. She's able to go out shopping. She's able to go to the mall. And she's enjoying life. And then she followed up. She was a kidney transplant patient. And she followed up with her kidney specialist. And he's like, what in the world have you been doing? Your kidney's working better now than it's ever worked. And this was after about maybe 3 months of care.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I haven't really done anything except see a chiropractor. And he was like, cool, keep seeing it. He goes, because everything's working better.
Right, right.
Yeah.
See, that's what a lot of people do not hear. When you said holistic, it opened the door
Right.
to your body healing itself.
Yep.
And there are things that can't be healed because it's diseased in different areas. But I think that was really good.
Right, yeah, there is a certain anatomical limitation once something's been beat up so bad.
Right.
But the more you can work towards that through proper nutrition, getting enough sleep, getting adjusted and being balanced, as best you possibly can.
Right.
That gives your body the chance.
Right.
And sometimes you see that and you get, crazy results that you weren't even looking for.
Right. Yeah. Now, for those who've been watching, saying, "Well, where's his office at? Where is he, this miracle worker?" It was actually, it does work, and I want to make sure you understand that I'm not bringing on to the show today someone who I heard about this. I'm bringing on the show someone who has worked on me, and I joke about this all the time, Dr. Palmer. When you get 50. Right, I'm an athlete. I'm an ex-athlete, should I say? And I never had any issues. I never even been to the hospital to stay overnight. But when I got 50, it's just stuff started happening. I mean, your back hurt, your head hurt, and honestly, whenever I get to a place where I feel like I'm getting tight because I slept wrong or whatever else, I can come in because I love your office and that you don't need an appointment.
Yeah,
you
we do a lot of walk-ins
Yeah.
and. What I like best about our office is that it's a home feeling.
Yes.
You come in, your family.
Yes.
I don't care what color you are,
That's right.
what race you are, what
Yes.
religion you are.
Yes.
If you come in, we're going to do the best we can do
Yes.
for you. And our customer service with the people, I feel, is top notch.
Yes. Other than that, other young lady you had named Danisha, she wasn't top notch.
Right, yeah, we're
I'm
going
glad
to
you got
talk
rid of
about
her.
that, how
Yeah.
she stole one of my best employees.
Well, I will say this though, that honestly, for those of you who are watching, great opportunity for you to really go. Dr. Palmer, before we go to the break, I just need you to tell us where you have multiple locations.
Yes.
Could you share with us where they are so that the viewers will know?
Sure. We have one location at One Pleasant Place in Newcastle, Delaware. It's really on Route 273, and it's about 2 houses down from the deli. And then our second location is on Route 13. The address is 100 Dover Street because that's the back street where the mailbox is. And that's across from the county police building.
Yeah.
And we've been in that location probably about 20 years now.
Yeah.
The other location we just moved over 2 years ago.
And it got a big sign that says Palmer Chiropractor.
Right, chiropractic and physical therapy.
Right. Well, the physical therapy is small, but the chiropractic is very big.
He's got to work a few more years till I get him a bigger
There
sign.
you go, and he's dedicated. But we'll talk to him when he comes on. But it's down the street from the Wawa. For those of you who are watching, it's right on 13. You'll see the Wawa. If you're coming from the city of Wilmington, you'll pass the Wawa. You'll go up a little bit further, and you'll see the state, not state, but the county police building, and then you will also across the street from that, you would find his chiropractic care, which the one that I go to, but you all have one in Newcastle as well.
Correct.
Where you all are open only 2 days a week in chiropractic care at the which one?
Right, 2 days a week on the one on 13.
Okay.
A Wednesday and a Friday.
Yes.
And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we're at One Pleasant Place.
Okay.
And but we can accommodate people.
Right.
So
give them a phone number they can call you.
Yeah, the main phone number is 302-328-2656. And the other phone number is 656-1390.
We are proud of you. You're able to remember, and that's one of the hardest things, especially for the CEO of the organization. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Tune in at 8 a.m. every Sunday for our worship services. Join us at 9 a.m. on YouTube and Facebook Live by typing Zion Fair Baptist Church. We are Wilmington's most exciting church.
Hi, my name is Dr. Shane Palmer, and if you're in need of chiropractic care or physical therapy, please give us a call at 302-328-2656. Thank you.
Join us at 9 a.m. on Facebook Live every Sunday by typing eZion Fair Baptist Church.
Jesus felt what you're feeling, but he did not sin. Am I in the word? Have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin.
We are Wilmington's most exciting church.
And we're back. Just having a very nice, wonderful conversation with Dr. Palmer, who is my personal chiropractor. I shouldn't say personal because he has a lot of clients, but I enjoy going in, having conversation with him. I found him to be real people, and I'm really grateful that he has helped me to stay active. We had an opportunity to talk about the family. We had an opportunity to talk about, you know, what really got you motivated to become a chiropractor and the education you had to go through. Let's talk a little bit about Palmer chiropractic care and therapy. What do you offer the people there?
Sure. I got out of school, let's say 1989, and began working for somebody in a sweat equity deal where I helped build a practice up, and then I eventually bought him out.
Oh.
So I've been owning my own since probably about 93.
Okay.
And our philosophy is that nobody is ever turned away for financial reasons. Our main thing is, come in, we want results, because we want a reputation throughout town that, hey, if you're hurting, go see Palmer. Palmer will be able to help you out. If he can't, he's going to send you someplace, hopefully they can. And the main thing we offer is chiropractic, and presently in the last couple of years, my son came into the picture, and we offer physical therapy. And his physical therapy is a one-on-one basis. It's not like you're going to a place where he's seeing 5 or 6 people at one time. He's going to take the time, figure out your problem, figure out what your results are, and move on from there. Because as a patient, there's really 3 things that you want to know. You want to know, hey, do you know what's going on with me and why I'm hurting or why I can't do this? And then the second is, can you fix it? If you know what it is. And then the third is, how much is going to come out of my pocket to get this fixed? So we will address all those questions.
Yes.
And be straight up front with you. And, you know, some people respond very quickly, some take a lot longer.
Right.
But you know, our goal is to give the people what they want, and to be someone there that they can call and they can talk to just straight up, and they're going to get, you know, straight up answers back.
Yeah.
And we offer physical therapy in both locations, intersegmental traction, electrical stem, things of that sort. And then I'll actually do a lot of soft tissue work. We have a guy working with us, Dr. Bob Buckley, who's been in practice for probably 34 years too. And he's excellent, great hands. He can do acupuncture, and that's a nice asset to have, especially for pain control and trigger pointing. But yeah, that's some of the stuff we have.
Yeah, well, I hear a whole lot, and you let's start with the therapy, because your son, who is there Monday through Friday in most cases,
Correct.
He really reads and studies.
Yes.
I didn't know what my issue was. All I knew is that it was hurting and my fingers were tingling. And I said, do you think it's a heart issue? He said, let's just try this, let's try that. But the whole time talking to me through it, he said, I want to get you to 150 pounds lifting weights?
Deadlifting.
And I said, at one point that was easy, but right now I don't think so. He said, well, let's get some goals together. And he was able to give me the goals, and I got there. Trust me when I tell you. And when you talk about personal, That's important. Very good conversation. You know, it's interesting because, you know, when I would go in and because he only was handling me, because that's how he does all of his clients.
Right.
We were able to have conversation. He was able to give me more information on what was causing my issue, and asking me, "Do you feel any relief?"
Right.
He said, you don't have to make me feel good to say yes. He said, to be honest with me. And I was honest, because at first I was not feeling any for the first week or so. But
Right.
then all of a sudden it just started, you know, going away. And he said that's a part of the healing process. So I really felt that was great. I had a chance to be with Bob too.
Very good.
Because on the Fridays, sometimes at one point I was coming Wednesdays and Fridays. I would get you on Wednesdays and get Bob on Fridays. And
Yes,
that's Dr.
correct.
Bob.
Yeah, he
Dr.
covers for me on Thursdays and Fridays.
Yes, so I was going in there, and when I went in, after getting the electric stems, I guess
Yes,
what you call it, he would crack you up, and he is good.
Yeah.
And before you can say ouch, he's done what he needed to do.
Right.
Because he's quick at what he does. You engages. You like to talk, and he gets it done.
Got
So
it.
great customer service with him as well.
Very
and
good.
I noticed something in your in your office is that you have all ages
Correct.
who come to your practice.
Yep.
That was impressive to me, because sometimes people gear towards maybe one particular group, whether older people or younger people.
Right.
But when I was there, it was all, and I saw people who I hadn't seen in a while, a couple pastors who will come there. I think I forgot the singer name. Pebbles.
Oh, yeah,
yes. Pebbles was. Matter of fact, she was on the next table over from me.
Right, yeah.
And her husband and
Uh-huh.
a couple others. So you really offer services to a broad range of people.
Right. Some of the youngest kids I've ever adjusted were like 1 month, 2 months old.
Really?
Yeah. And then we've had people in their 90s. But like with the infant, it was a real neat case. It was the nephew of the young lady who used to work for me, Dr. Kim. And she wasn't real comfortable with treating her nephew. She's like, "Can you look at it?" But the baby wasn't latching on. So that can become real serious because it becomes a survival thing if the baby can't suck properly. So well, I said, all right, let me see. And I got a little experience with that, and I found that the palate felt twisted in the baby's mouth. So I just worked on it because their bones really aren't formed, so it's more of a reflex. And I worked on that once or twice. I said I found this and this, and the baby started to suck and was able to latch on to the mother's nipple. I said, but bring the child to this chiropractor who specializes in just pediatrics.
Right.
So I go, she goes, fine. So it was in New Jersey, brought the baby over, found the same things, and worked on it a couple times, and the kid was fine.
Wow, it's so much that you all do in your field, and it's like a mystery still. And I think the more you all get out and share what you all do, it's going to really find that a lot of times people don't need that knife as much.
Exactly. That's why I really appreciate you allowing me to come out and
Yeah.
and express this to your viewers. But the sad part about it is only 50% of the people have ever experienced chiropractic.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd like to reach out and tell people, try to find a chiropractor close to your house, go there and experience it. And, you know, if it's not a great experience, then come see us, because I'm going to make sure it's going to be, you know, we'll do everything we can possibly do. But the majority of the chiropractors out there are good people. They got good hands. Stay away from any that are going to try to sell you a massive package deal right off the bat. But, you know, tell them what your issues are. And, like, there's 3 things you need to know when you go in there. Does he know what's wrong? And, you know, can he fix it? And like I said, how much is it going to cost to get it done?
Right.
You know, so you're comfortable, he's comfortable, and then you try to reach your goal together.
Yeah, and it was interesting because, I guess I better ask the question so that you can answer it for the people. Do you take insurance?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
we take the majority of all the insurances that are out there.
Yes, and one of the things that I again am impressed with is that the staff tend to know you're focused on healing the patient. Your staff was focused on handling whatever needs to be handled in the back office.
Right.
And I thought that was
makes
just
it
very
nice.
good.
Yeah, that makes it really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So, you know, I like to be working on people not knowing if they owe me a lot of money or if they
Yes.
owe me a little
Yeah.
money, because I want to focus on what their problem is and try to stick with that.
Yeah, that Denisha person though, she made sure I paid my what do you call
Oh
that?
yeah, she was no joke.
What do you call that? That
Copay?
Copay. Oh man, she said, well, you know, and I'm her pastor. I would
Right.
think that she would have a little mercy. Your copay is, I think it was $10 every visit.
Right.
And then first she said it was 20. She upcharged me. But I
we
love
needed
this.
lunch that day.
Well, and you know what happened? A couple of weeks after I was there, she said it was your copay is only 10.
Right.
So therefore, you got some extra
credit. Very
and
good.
that's called integrity, and I appreciate
Yes.
that from you. And that obviously is because your leadership is very much there.
Good.
So one of these things, one of these days, we are going to do a stress-free Sunday, and I'm going to invite
Fantastic.
you and your son in to share. You say only 50%.
Right.
People have even experienced. People are afraid.
Yeah.
Of chiropractic care.
Right.
And they don't understand this has helped to save people's lives, one, and also it kept people from going under the knife.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
So we're gonna set that up, and I'm gonna have
That's
Denisha
good. We could
to
do
set
it
that
and
up.
come in and take care of your staff. I
Yeah.
mean, you're running a great operation here. I mean,
Thank you.
There's a lot of people,
I'm
I'm
not gonna
sure.
do it for my staff. I'm gonna do it for my members.
Oh,
So that I
okay.
can get you a
Very
lot
good.
of people.
Okay.
Because we're gonna have it over in the gym. Did she take you over to the gym so you
Yeah,
get a chance
yeah.
to see it?
That's awesome.
We're gonna do something over in the gym, and we're gonna try to bring in a couple because I'm thoroughly convinced that chiropractic care really works.
Yeah.
It really works. I'm
without a
a
doubt.
living witness to that.
Yep.
Now I happen to know your sister
yes.
also works with you in the office.
Yeah, that's a blessing there for sure, because she takes care of all the books for me and
Excellent.
makes sure everybody understands what their insurance is, and then tries to get the money out of the insurance company and and keeps everything straight.
It was funny because when I was there one morning with Scholar and she came in and he said aunt.
Right.
You know, I'm observant. I said, "Oh, is that your mom's sister or your father's?" And he said, "I think he said it's his dad's sister."
Yeah, yeah.
I said, "Oh, okay, so it's a family business."
Exactly. Yep.
But that's awesome. I'm very glad that you're doing really well with the business, and the more we can share the truth of what happens in chiropractic care, the more you're going to find that there's going to be a higher even success rate.
Yes,
Now,
very
as
good.
I did in the last section, I talked about what makes Dr. Palmer happy. Let me add to that. You're taking on some new projects. And I'm going to go back to chiropractic care, but I always
All
like
right.
to let people see the human side of people.
Sure.
You've taken on some other projects. What are some hobbies that you've been working with?
Yeah, I kind of got into buying houses and renovating them.
Yes.
And it started with a friend of mine who was an addict, and he was clean for about 25 years. And he's like, man, I want a house where I can house these people, teach them my method, and make a difference. So I had some money saved up, and I was like, you know what? Let's look for one. We found a 6-bedroom, old beat-up house, and I went in, gave him a cash offer, and we got it, renovated it, fixed it up, and he founded the Dexter House. One
Excellent.
of the first houses in Northeast Maryland. And it's Bob and Trish Jones. They do a great job, and we named it after a friend of ours that we lost, who was Dexter. But these guys, I think they're up to 200 to 300 people they've
Wow.
had off stuff for about a year. That's their goal. They want to try to get them off, and I mean, they want to try to get them off everything.
Right.
So they're not just moving into Suboxone, where they're giving up one drug for another.
Right.
But they're trying to work the people through a system, the 12-step system, and then get them jobs, get them back in society, and so then we went from that place, we bought another one,
Oh, wow.
fixed that up, and a lot of the projects I'll use some of the people in the house to come in and just to get extra money going back to them.
Right.
And-
Yeah, I think for my view is they love to see the heart of the persons that sit, in the different things that we're trying to offer. Today
Right.
we're offering holistic health.
Gotcha.
Okay. And chiropractic care, I'm a thorough believer in, but to know that the doctor who's working on you have a heart of humanity. That's important in the time that we live in. Where
Right.
most people don't even care about the next person.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share that a little bit because I thought, as I learned, I want the people to see the type of person Dr.
thank you.
Palmer
Yeah.
really is.
Thanks.
We're getting ready to go to another commercial break. Can you one more time tell me, how do we get in touch with you?
Sure, you could call our office at 302-328-2656.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 302-656-1390.
Well, this is great. Dr. Palmer, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back. And one of the things I want to talk about when we come back is some of your good and bad experiences you had as a chiropractor.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back.
Join us at 9 a.m. on YouTube every Sunday by typing Zion Fair Baptist Church.
Oh my God, help me today. Which means every storm is a school. Every trial is a teacher. Every experience is an education. And every difficulty is development. You may.
We are Wilmington's most exciting church.
You do it all. You work late, you show up for others, and you do it all with a smile. At Levante and Dorsey and Associates, we seek to discover the stress and pain you hide behind it all. We seek to equip you with the courage to tell your story. Your initial appointment will begin with an intake assessment. We ask you questions about yourself and what brings you into therapy. Our offices are warm spaces designed to make you feel comfortable no matter what you are facing. Our goal at Levante and Dorsey and Associates is to make sure you receive the help you need to grow and to begin to live your best life. So feel free to call or text today to schedule your appointment at 302-956-9188. We're located in Newark, Delaware.
News all across the nation. Wilmington's latest headlines. Advocating for change in the community with Dr. C.T. Curry, Kobe Owens, and Shanae Darby. Tune in to The Source every Sunday at 5 p.m.
And we're back. Great interview thus far with Dr. Palmer, a great chiropractor. Dr. Palmer has been in business for, I guess you said almost
34 years.
34 years now,
Yes.
and he really understands the field and is doing a phenomenal job. Before I get started on some of your good and interesting challenges that you may have had as a chiropractor, we had on the show about a month ago two brothers. We call them the Todd brothers.
Todd brothers,
And
yes.
I don't know where they quoted you, and they really have a high respect for you. Do you know the Todd brothers?
Yes, I do. I actually worked on those guys when they were younger.
Yeah.
When Joe was in high school, he hurt his knee and came into the office. We worked on him, and they were both fantastic
Yeah.
D1 athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah, big, strong, fast. And
they still big.
yeah.
I don't know if they're strong.
and they went on, played college, and started their own business.
Yeah.
And they started total resistance training.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that Charlie actually, if he wasn't hurt, I think would have been playing on Sundays. He was that
Okay.
good.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, he could hit fast, good hands, but he got hurt, and trying to rehab himself, he was never be able to bounce back the way he was. So he started using these rubber bands, and he'd work it, got stronger, got fitter. He's like, you know what? I could probably come up with a harness and put these rubber bands all over, which would make someone even a better athlete.
Right, right.
So this is, I guess, might have been 8 years ago, 10 years ago. So we're sitting in the office, throwing things back and forth, and I said, all right, get something where you could adjust it. And we ran different scenarios back and forth, and they launched a company.
Oh, yeah.
And they went and they patented it. Now they're going to try to franchise this company, but they're just local kids that had a dream, and now they're fulfilling it. And I always try to help out anybody I can.
Yes. Well, that's
And
very
and especially if you see young kids with energy and excitement, and I was like, oh, these guys are great.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
and matter of fact, your son even gave you an accolade on how he's grateful how you've helped him. So sometimes we save the world and don't save our own family.
Right,
And actually,
yeah.
I wanted to add that to the whole spin that your son even gave a great accolade of your heart to help others. Well,
Very
you've
good.
been in business 34 years. Give us a couple of your your successes and maybe a couple of challenges or one challenge. It's your call.
Like a challenge in chiropractic?
I mean, what you ran
or-
into, you just couldn't help the person, or
Well, we have had a few patients that come in, and I was like, look, we kind of exhausted what we could do here, and I think your next option would probably be surgical intervention.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we have a good working relationship with some of the top neurosurgeons in the state, and they refer back to us, especially on cases. They're like, look, we don't want to cut on you again. You know, and with failed back surgery, usually if you have one,
Yeah.
then they'll have another or another, and it just gets worse and worse. So they'll send them back to me and say, hey, go try this guy. Other people have had good results with it. And that was kind of difficult trying to break into that realm of the medical doctors. So at first, when I got started, I was very super holistic. And if anyone challenged me on chiropractic, you know, we were ready to knuckle up.
yeah,
And
knuckle up.
and our first child, we got booted out of the hospital because I had a confrontation with OBGYN there.
Oh wow.
And so I went into it and I said, look, we're moving up from Georgia to Pennsylvania, and my wife is due probably in about a month. So we're setting up how we want to do stuff. And he's like, okay, great. And this was up in Pennsylvania. So I laid out a birth plan. And I said, you know, we want to do things in a natural manner, you know, but if, you know, things go wrong, by all means, we'll have to do whatever we have to do to make sure the baby's safe and my wife is safe. So it kind of went okay on that part. And then I went there, and the guy goes, well, I want to do this ultrasound study on it. I said, well, you can listen, you know, with the stethoscope and hear. I said, well, I really don't want any ultrasound on the baby because it's not going to change what we're going to do anyway, because we're going through with this birth. And the guy goes, all right. So then he grabbed a Doppler to listen to the baby's things, and I was like, well, that's ultrasound too. And he goes, no, it's not. It's a Doppler. I go, buddy, that's ultrasound. He goes, you don't know what you're talking about? And he kind of got very defensive. So I took it out of his hand, and I flipped it upside down, and it says, Doppler, ultrasound device. And then he really got pissed. So I was like, all right, well, let it go. I go, listen to the baby's heart if you want. Go ahead. And so, because I just didn't want those sound waves bouncing off the baby's ears, because I was still in that very holistic state of mind coming out of chiropractic college. And so then they go, okay, now you guys got to come to one of our birthing classes. And their birthing class, they came in, and then there was a pediatrician, and they wanted to shoot the baby up with all this medication and all these vaccinations right away. So I was like, well, is it, you know, if everything's going well, you know, why would I need to have this done and that done? Maybe can we postpone it a little bit till the baby's immune system starts to form? And they got pissed a little bit, and they're like, no, you're going to have to get this done. I said, wait a minute. I don't have any venereal disease. My wife doesn't have any venereal disease, so why do you want to give me that shot or give her that shot?
Right.
I said, it makes zero sense.
Right.
They're like, well, that's the way we do things.
That's what we do.
So I was, you know, kind of, I said, all right, fine. We're new here. We'll go along with the program so far. But then we went in, and the guy's like, we don't want to deliver your baby here at this hospital. We're dropping. I said, look, she's got 2 weeks to go. This whole thing happened within like 2 weeks. Then he goes, well, I don't like your birthing plan. And I go, what specifically don't you like about the birthing plan? And we'll discuss it as men back and forth. But if you give me a good reason, I said, this is just a natural process. And he goes, I don't like the whole thing. So I said, so you're telling me you can't give me one specific thing you don't like or you do like about this thing? He goes, no. And then I got hot. My wife got nervous. She kind of left the room. I went to grab him. And then the next thing you know, we're banned from the whole hospital.
Oh, man.
So a week later, she goes into labor. We're going from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, up there by Union Hospital, who just totally blew us off and said, you're not allowed in here. No one's going to see you, to Hahnemann Hospital.
That's where I was born at.
Well, yeah, so Lindsay, my daughter, was born in Hahnemann Hospital.
Oh, okay.
So we got down there and we're like, look, she's just starting labor. It's our first child. They're like, oh, wow, this could take, 24 hours. Go back. We're going, all right, we'll go back. As soon as we got back up into Harleysville, Pennsylvania, at the time, the contractions went to 5 minutes. Straight back down to Hahnemann, and then she was born like 2 hours once we got to the hospital.
Was it the Hahnemann in Philadelphia? Or
In Philadelphia.
Okay, so I want to make sure, because people are
Yeah.
looking like he wasn't up in Harley, but it is in Philadelphia, and that is where I was born.
Right, yeah, and then because we got booted from the
Yes.
Union Hospital.
Yes,
So then I always had that, MD, DC kind of, oil and vinegar type thing. And I was like, you know what? I got to change that. I said, these guys got certain skill sets, and there's good MDs, there's bad MDs. And there's good chiropractors, there's bad chiropractors. So I was fortunate to find some really good, very well-educated, good-hearted MDs, and we clicked. And we got along real well, and they started referring people to me. I started referring people to them.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, so
Is chiropractic care safe?
very safe.
All right, and you say it's very safe. Why?
Because the insurance company to cover me for like let's say $1 million, $3 million policy is about $1,100. A medical doctor, you're looking probably $4,000 to $5,000 minimum. Some are $13,000 to $15,000
Because
for
the
the
risk
same
is so
amount.
high.
Yeah, for the same amount of coverage.
Yes.
And so that, the insurance companies, they look at the numbers. And the chances of being hurt by a chiropractor are very, very minimal.
And I asked that question to those of you who are watching because it's important for you to understand. I knew the answer to the question, but it's important for you to understand that it is almost the safest route to go. Sometimes we listen to medical doctors, which are great. My brother-in-law is a strong and a powerful medical doctor. I believe in doctors. I've had my personal physician on many times. But when it comes to chiropractic care, especially when it comes down to cutting your back, your hip, and all this other stuff, get the second opinion. Get the second opinion by going in to see whether or not that is the option. Because it might be, as you have said.
Right, yeah, without a doubt.
It may be, but it may not be. And because it may not be, it's important for you to get a second opinion on that. Chiropractic care, let's say if I don't have insurance, how expensive is it for me to be? Do you see people who don't have insurance?
Yeah, we do see people that don't have insurance, and we'll set something up for them that can fall within their realm to pay. And it's usually like $35
Okay.
to come in just to cover expenses. I'll hook them up with whatever I have in the office that's above that. We just ended up eating it.
Yeah.
But like I said, nobody's ever turned away.
Yeah.
And
He
actually,
literally means that.
Yeah.
Nobody's turned away. I mean, for those of you who are listening, I'm trying to pull out of him things that I know. And while I do have insurance, there are people who have already testified to the fact that you don't get pulled away or turned away because of not having it. But I'm sorry.
correct, yeah. But we've had a few people that try to take a little advantage
Yes.
of the situation, and we just correct it and tell them, say no.
Okay.
You got to come up with something.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because nothing is free.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
And I figure they'll value it more.
Yeah, and look, I feel strong. Sometimes I guess my members may be mad at you because my energy is up, even with me getting readjusted to the place where I need to be. That was a question I wanted to ask you before we let you go. How do you know when you probably need to be adjusted? How does a regular person would know that they need
Like
to be?
athletes, it's easy because they know when they're a little off.
Okay.
But the regular Joe, sometimes it can be difficult because your body will constantly adapt back and forth. And the best way to do is you can look into the mirror, and if you see one shoulder up a lot higher than the other, or stand on two scales right next
you
to
have
each
that in
other.
your office, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one because you stand on it and you just look relaxed, 1 foot on each scale, look straight ahead, and then let them balance out and look down. And if you're seeing more than a 5-pound difference, you probably need adjusted.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can feel them when muscles start to cramp up and something that you could do easy, like tie your shoe or reach for a coffee, becomes difficult. It's probably a good idea to get checked.
Yeah, and again, if I want to come to the office right there across from the police station, what is that address again?
That address is 100 Dover Street, but it's right in East Minquidale,
Yeah.
and it's on Route 13. You'll see a big sign that says Palmer Chiropractic and Physical Therapy. And the phone number is 302-328-2656.
Yeah, and if I want to go up to the new place where you all have now.
Yes, the new place is also, it's One Pleasant Place, but it's on Route 273. And it's 2 down from the Pleasantville Deli, 2
Now,
houses.
273, and that's in Newark, or is it in Newcastle?
It's in Newcastle. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a Newcastle Bear area.
Okay,
So it's between 13 and Route 1
13 Route 1 on 273.
on 273, correct.
And has it got a big sign out there to say Palmer too?
We put flags out there because the county wouldn't let us put a sign up.
Oh, I gotta figure that one out, because that's probably up in the area where I live at. I kept thinking it was on Kirkwood Highway. I don't know why I kept thinking it was on Kirkwood Highway.
Yeah.
But that sounds like somewhere up there near where I live.
Do you know Scoops Ice Cream?
I do.
Yeah, it's right down the street from Scoops Ice Cream.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah,
over there
and
near
2
that,
from that deli that sits there on the corner.
and so that means you're near the area where the big hair supply store is. There's a hair supply store up there.
That is in Community Plaza.
I think
Bargain
so.
World?
Yes.
It used to be Bargain World
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you-
and it's like a strip mall wrapped
Right.
around. Correct.
And
Yep.
there was a Rita's Water Ice there at one
There's a
point.
Rita's. And on the end of it, New York Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
That was my first office when I came to town in
Oh,
Newcastle.
wow. Okay.
Yep.
And the reason why I'm putting all those things out there, because that's how some people can identify where
Right.
it is.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. So at that location, the one that's right there in Beer / Newcastle, what are the hours of operation there?
There is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 10 to 1, 2:30 to 6:30.
Okay. 2:30, 6:30.
Yeah,
10 to
and that
1.
phone number is 302-656. No, I'm sorry. That one is 302-328-2656.
You're doing good. We're going to have it on the screen, too, so
Gotcha.
people will be able to get it. So
All
that
right.
was really
Very
good.
good.
And if I want to come to the one across from the police station here in, I would call it, what do you call it, Wilmington? Or,
Yeah, it's about a mile outside of Wilmington,
Okay.
so I call that like Newcastle, Wilmington. But they're both Newcastle
Right.
addresses.
Yeah.
And that one is the 302-656-1390. And hours of operation are Wednesday, 10 to 1, 2:30 to 6:30, and then Friday, 10 to 2.
Right. And by appointment, if you want to get the therapy, you will have to, get in contact with Shane. Dr.
Right, or Sky.
Sky.
Yeah, my
I, can
son
call it-
Skylar.
I get the names mixed up,
That's
but I'm
all
right.
right. Yeah.
But that's, and then he has many more hours that he could certainly meet
Exactly,
for those
yeah.
who want the therapy. But for chiropractic care, I wanted to make sure that we gave you that information. Dr. Palmer, it has been a pure joy having you with us today. This is not going to be your last time.
Thank you. I
We're
really
going to
appreciate
make
that.
sure that we give you an opportunity to come as much as possible.
Awesome.
And when we have our stress-free day Sunday, we're going to make sure you're here. And we
Very
brought
good.
the Todd brothers to come back. And
Oh,
we're just
that'd be
gonna
awesome. We
we're
can
gonna
put
just-
on a little exercise program,
There you
and
go.
then I can
then you
loosen them
loosen them up. There you go. Good job. So thank you so
Thank
very much,
you.
and I appreciate
Thanks
you so
again.
much. And
Yep.
we'll be right
Very
back.
good.
New guests, new conversations, new stories every Sunday at 11 a.m. Grab your cup of coffee and tune in with Dr. Curry for our weekly episodes of Coffee with Curry.
Yo! Stream it today, and you know we don't play. Come on, man. You better straighten up.
Straighten up. Shake, stretch it out, everybody. Wake up and get with the party. Say it loud, move with the sound. Straighten up your back and get down.
At Levante and Dorsey and Associates, our therapists are seeking to shatter any myths that say it is not okay to not be okay. At our practice, our clinicians are experts in a wide variety of clinical interventions to address the needs of the population, whether it be anxiety, depression, relationship issues, whatever you present with, we are here to help. All in all, if you simply need someone to talk to, call or text us today at 302-956-9188 or visit us on the web at levantedorsey.com.
And we're back. What a great show. I am so grateful that God has put into my life people who really make a difference in the lives of other people. I met Dr. Palmer just, I guess, a little over a year ago in excruciating pain, and I just didn't know how I was going to get through this one. And after being referred to go to him, I went, and listen, life have been sweet. He was able to adjust me, constantly told me how many times a week I needed to come in order to let it work, and gave me some techniques, and it worked. So I hope that today you had opportunity to see the heart of the physician as well as the skill of the physician, because both of those two things matter when dealing with especially the public. So I hope today that you had an opportunity to learn something. Don't forget, give them a call. It's on your screen right now, the telephone number to his office. You will find that he is some real good people. And I say that I can certify that. If you can just give him a call, he'll certainly try his best to work with you. Like he said, he takes all insurances. And if you don't have insurance, he will give you an opportunity to get, you'll have to pay something, but you'll get an opportunity to at least get adjusted and see how those things work out. This is what we have to do as we're dealing with all the stresses of the world, all the stresses that we're under. We have to make sure we take care of our physical health. He talked a lot about wholeness. A part of being whole is making sure that you're physically fit, mentally alert, and spiritually alive. And if you are not, then you are lopsided. And if you're lopsided, you got to go see Dr. Palmer so he can crack you up and then get you straight again. Until the next time we get together, may the Lord God bless you real good.
Thank you for watching this episode of Coffee with Curry. Tune in next week, Sunday at 11 a.m.